Hey.
We are rocking into the afternoon portion of the program. Joining us now, the chairman of the Mississippi GOP, Frank Bordeaux. Frank, what's going on, my friend? Good to have you on.
Thanks, Gerard. Thanks, Rhino. I'm up in Salt Lake City at the RNC winter meeting. Just stepped out to do this interview. Everybody here is motivated, ready, looking forward to 2022.
Absolutely. All right, we got to ask you, what's the weather like in Salt Lake City?
Well, I'm a boy from South Mississippi, so it's not my kind of weather. I woke up this morning and looked out my hotel room and snow everywhere, so I'll be staying in the hotel for most of my trip here.
Well, I am going to pray that the weather does not affect your return travel. That ain't no fun, and I'm hoping you're going to be in good shape. Looks like it's moving through that area and headed this way somewhat, and down into Texas and in the Midwest as well. But all right, so I got to believe everybody is energized. It certainly feels like this president and the opponents on the Democrat side have provided us much ammunition to use in the campaign season, midterm 2022.
No question about it. I mean, that's the talk so far. We've been mostly in our committee meeting so far. Our large meeting together will be here in just a few minutes. But the energy all across the country is strong. Although we don't have many races in Mississippi to be concerned about, I know Mississippians are ready to help in states where they need help, and we have let folks know that here, and they're excited to hear it.
Is anybody attempting to forecast, Frank, what they think the numbers might look like? I got to believe everybody's optimistic we'll retake the House. I think the question is, by how many seats? Is anybody willing to hazard a guess at that at this point?
I've heard many folks on both the House and the Senate. Who knows where we'll end up? Things continue. National Democrat Party, if they keep doing what they're doing, I think the number grows daily. I think didn't believe we had opportunity in that. All of a sudden we have opportunities. We're seeing, and I've actually met several great candidates from across the country here, and I'll meet several more over the course of the week. We have candidates across the United States. I feel good about our opportunity as far as handicapping numbers. I think it's a little bit too early to tell right now.
I got you. All right, what about flipping the Senate?
I think we have a great opportunity to flip the Senate. If you'd asked me a year ago, I think it would have been a lot more difficult. But, as long as President Biden's approval ratings continue to drop in the states that they're dropping in, I mean, the latest numbers out of Georgia are deplorable, and you're already seeing Herschel Walker's candidacy starting to take off.
Yeah.
And it looks like that, he went from a dead heat to, he's several points ahead right now. And I think you're seeing that across the nation.
Yeah, it sure seems like, and I saw also, and you may have said it, but Florida, he's in the 30s in Florida as well. I mean, a traditional swing state, and one that he did not carry, did President Biden, but it's always down to the wire, always very close, a populated state, lots of reps down there. I got a feeling the Republicans might do well there as well.
I believe so. Everybody keeps talking about a red wave. It's starting to look like a tsunami. We just have to keep the main thing. Keep our eye on the ball, keep our message out there, and if the Democrats want to continue on their playbook, I think we're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, I saw Byron Donalds, who's a great member of the U.S. House of Representatives, represents Florida's 19th congressional district this morning in an interview, and when he learned about the polls in Florida where President Biden is polling at about 38% favorability, he said, I want to get to Florida and find out who those 38% are that are approved. He's a fantastic rep, and I think he's got a very bright future. All right, so what are kind of the campaign talking points that the RNC is discussing that they want to coalesce around with the midterms coming up?
I think that the message is pretty easy. The American people are hurting right now. under the current administration's policies, and a lot of their policies was a rollback of President Trump and the Republicans' policies. We believe less regulation. We believe that putting money in the private sector's hands to do what the private sector does benefits everybody.
Yeah.
I think the proof's in the pudding. It's been a year of Biden's policies of reversing our policies, and you see where we are right now: higher gas prices, higher prices at the grocery store, lower revenues, lower jobs. So I believe that if we remind folks of what we were able to accomplish 4 years prior to the Biden administration, I think that we're going to continue. We're going to do well in 2022, and then again in 2024.
Yeah, it sure seems like it. Again, it just, I think there are a lot of sound bites that could be used that could really pump up Republicans' chances. What are you hearing about California? Something that I can't remember how many reps they have in California. It's a bunch. Seems like it's 50 or something like that. But we actually lost some seats in areas that are traditionally held by Republicans in kind of that red Orange County area. Are you meeting with anybody? Is there any talk about that? What's going on there and how we might gain those back?
So California, obviously, they're going to lose some House seats just due to the census. And
yeah.
It was a very good. They're at the RNC level. Their chairwoman is very aggressive. She's raising a lot of money. She was able to win 3 seats that they didn't believe that they were going to be able to win in 2020. We were not successful last county. Sometimes it comes down to the candidate. But I can say that the Republican Party of California, they're doing a very good job. It's an uphill battle there. The Democrats outraised them quite a bit, but last cycle the Republicans raised $37 million in California. They're doing a great job, grassroots, and building coalitions where coalitions didn't exist previously. And that is kind of the role of Chairwoman McDaniel has put on all of us as we go into our states, is building coalitions in areas where we have not made an effort to build coalitions. And so the past 18 months, we've been doing that in Mississippi, and folks across the country have done that, and I think it will pay dividends in 2022.
Are you guys starting to, even though it's a couple of years out, are you starting to talk about 2024?
Of course, there's talk about it, but the main thing that everybody's focused in is 2022.
Sure.
There's a lot of names being floated out there. 2024, we're going to start seeing folks visit Mississippi and visit different states that are throwing their names around, whether it's Tim Scott or Nikki Haley, obviously former President Trump.
Yep.
We have a great slate of possible candidates. The other side really can't say that. And so we feel good as far as that is concerned. The main thing is, us, the Republican Party pulling together, pulling in the same direction, forgetting what may have happened in the past and start looking towards the future. And I think we'll be successful. One thing that I would like the SuperTalk viewers to know, everywhere I go, the optimism and the pride that folks have across the country for Mississippi, for our Republican Party, for our Republican leadership at the governor's mansion, all the way down through the legislature, we're really making waves over the last couple of years. And so Mississippi has a lot to be proud about of what we've accomplished, and people across the country are taking notice.
That's great to hear, and that's awesome. And I think that's because as a conservative state, in a period of time, the last couple of years in particular, where there just seems to be really a wedge between those that are going in one philosophical direction, talking about states, and those that aren't, across the spectrum of major issues, economic issues, voting, the ballot process, the voting process, the elections process, that's another one. Crime, obviously, is another one. Border situation. You just look at some mandates, all these issues that are red meat major issues to Americans across the country, just two totally separate approaches. Your thoughts? We got about a minute left.
No, exactly. I mean, folks are talking about, here we are in Mississippi talking about eliminating income tax. After 2015, we passed the largest tax cut in state history. We're seeing job growth. We're, coming out of the pandemic, we're one of the top 10 states of regaining our all of them are red states, by the way.
Yep.
Our education gains, since the Republicans have taken over the state, the gains that we're making in public education are unbelievable. If you look across the board, where it's bringing in new jobs, adding existing jobs, cutting taxes, deregulating, we're doing the right things in Mississippi.
Appreciate it, Frank. Always good to talk to you, my friend, and I'm sure we'll be in touch soon. Safe travels back. Have a good meeting.
Thank you. Y'all too.
Middays will be right back. More income taxes.